guys, welcome back to my channel. I have read a few books in the 11 days or 12 days that I've been gone from YouTube. I did actually film 3 of the 4 books. It's just I felt like I went too in depth and each video was like about 22 or 25 minutes long and I was like, that's too much. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna talk through the books individually in this one video for all 4 books and give them a rating and get on with it, because I feel like I'm going to dwell too much on it and I don't want to do that. So the first book I read out of the 4 books is called The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager, and it's about a woman, Casey Fletcher, and her husband Lee Fletcher. So they moved, but obviously the book started with him being dead, and she's the one that's monitoring the house across the lake, and the people that live across the lake are Catherine and Tom. Tom is an innovator. What is it? Is he an innovator? Yeah, he is. He's a tech innovator. And she is a former model, and they're very, very rich. Only 5 properties are on this lake, and basically it's very exclusive. You can't really... It's very private. It's for people that want privacy. So their house is fully made out of glass. Catherine and Tom's house is fully made out of glass. And one day Casey sees them arguing, and Catherine just disappears. So the way Catherine and Casey met is Casey saved her from drowning. I need to mention that Casey's also an alcoholic, so many things that happen, she's like questioning herself whether it happened or not. Anyway, so the whole time Casey is wondering, did Tom kill Catherine? Is Tom the one that killed Catherine? Did that happen? What is going on? At some point, she meets a guy called Boggy. What the fish was his name? I don't remember. He's quite relevant, if I do say so myself. They do end up together at the end because Lee's dead. But he's a former detective, and his wife died as well. A freak accident where she fell down the stairs and dead. Anywho, so there's even a point where she is like, did he do it? Like he didn't do it, but she's like, is he involved? She is drinking as well as watching them with the binoculars and like going way over her head, taking the detective work on herself. She finally finds Catherine locked up in a basement with Tom, and Tom is basically she's a captive and he's a captor. He's the kidnapper. Okay, and then he's like, that's not Catherine, I don't know what happened to her. And she talks to him and he's like, hey sweetie, hey C or whatever. And then she's like, and he's like, yeah, that's he's saying his name is Lee, whatever. So basically Lee entered her body. So now when that happened in this book, I was just like, the book was going so well. We had so many suspects. It was doing so good. And then you decide to put someone's dead soul into... And I was like, writer, you've lost me there. And then from that moment on, I could have given 2 shits about how the book ended, because why is there another soul in the body? And for that reason, I'm going to give this book a 2. Am I going to give it 2? Actually, wait, hold up. I mean, like, yeah, for not a great ending, I'll give it a 2. For an overall book and the way it got me feeling and how I was so into it, and oh guys, it was so creepy. The way the trees were moving and the shadows, I was like, oh my god. The first night I was reading and I was in bed, and there was like a mosquito that was buzzing, but something was on my hand. And tell me why I threw my Kindle. And I was like, then I was like, shit, I need to calm down. It was a really, really great book. I love the suspense. It was great, but I hated the actual, like, why did you have to do that? Like, you could have made Tom the actual killer of nobody because Catherine was alive. You know, I don't know. I wish we could also get Catherine's point of view, but it was only one person's point of view the whole book. But for that reason, I'm going to give him a 3. Yeah, I'm gonna stick to 3. I give a lot of books a 3. Okay, so we're moving on. The next book I've read after that is A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Let me just quickly pull up, because you have to remember, I read all 4 of these in like a week. Not really a week, but anyway. So the next book is Sarah J. Maas, a book she wrote, A Court of Thorn and Roses, a series, and this is the first book of the series. I'm not gonna lie, guys, Book Talk lied to me. Okay, so me, my sister Maimuna, and my friend Aisha read this book. Only us three are reading shit in this book club, by the way. Maimuna gave up like around 46% into the book. She was like, this is not my cup of tea, absolutely not. Aisha finished it and still questioned it. I'm questioning it. Aisha went and bought the second book. She's like, it's a really good book. I don't like what happened, but it's a good book. And I'm there like, I can't. And I find out that the characters continue on. The next book is not like new characters. It's like the same. Anyway, this book is about a girl. Her name's Feyre. She's a 19-year-old huntress. She supports her family. Like, I'm already like, I'm over it. She falls in love with a guy called Tamlin. He's a beast. That's not how the story happens, but at the end of it, that's what happens. And I'm not gonna lie, if you guys want to know what it's about, go read the blur. I'm not even gonna go too deep into it. He has a curse on him. He's wearing a face mask. Not a face mask, but like some sort of mask that is embedded in his skin because of a curse. And in order for that to lift, he needs to get a mortal being to fall in love with him. But that the mortal being has to hate fairies, which they are. Her name is Feyre, and these guys are fairies. Like, the writer could have at least changed her name. Like, come on, that's way too close. I'm very confusing. Anyway, at the end of the book, she turns into one of them. I'm not gonna tell you guys enough information for you guys to think it's enough information for you guys not to read the book. You need to go read the book. But yeah, I just feel like at the end of the book, like at 70-something%, Amarantha comes in, which is the evil woman that put the curse on them anyway. And I feel like she should have done a lot more for Feyre to struggle in order for her to pass her test, if you know what I mean. And the riddles, like she gave her a riddle and then the curse, both of them was her love was the curse, is to break the curse, and the answer to the riddle was love. I was like, and for that reason, I'm going to give this whole book a 2 because you get a bit of angst, which I told you guys in the last video. I hated that. Absolutely shite. I don't know. I'm just going to give it a 2 because it was a good read. It did captivate me at some points. But I feel like the writing, like Feyre's character, the way she is and how it ends up, like her decisions of stuff that some of the stuff she does, the decision that she makes does not reflect on her character at the beginning of the book, if that makes sense. Like, who she is as a person is so different to what the hell she does in the book. And with that being said, let's move on to the next book. Swipe. Okay, so third book is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. I have mentioned her before in a book video I did a while ago. And I've read The Love Hypnosis and it's so cute. And this book hasn't come out then. And I really, really wanted to read it. I love STEM books. It's so cute and like so techy and so mathy, sciencey. Every single terminology of science just went over my head, by the way. I have no idea what the fish they're talking about half the time. But her name is B and his name is Levi. And she basically, they meet in grad school and she assumes he hates her to the core. But that's not the case, obviously. Anyway, she gets invited to the science project for NASA, and he as well, and they're both the team leaders. And she's like, shit, he hates me, how are we gonna work together? And he does his best to avoid her and stuff, and she's like, that's not gonna work, you know, we'll need to work together. Anyway, he never hated her, to be honest. It's I feel like I need to say this. If you guys, I don't know what I'm saying at this point, but if you want to read any of these books, you should not be listening to me because spoilers and everything. But sorry, I'm looking down. Levi has loved her. If I'm citing number 1, she has a shitty person she was going out with at the time, Tim, and yeah, that clearly did not go out well because he cheated on her, and they were engaged and they broke up. So when they came back to the NASA project, Levi assumed she was still married, so he's avoiding her. And she thought he had a 6-year-old because of a guy. Guy is a guy's name. A guy told her, yeah, me and Levi like to play date together with our 6-year-olds. When Levi's babysitting his ex-girlfriend's daughter, and that daughter's dad was the reason why he went into STEM. So there's no feelings there with the girl because he broke up with the girl as soon as he met B 7 years ago. Anywho, this book, very, very interesting. I love the perspectives. I wish they could have gone, Ali could have gone a little bit more in with Levi's background, because he ends up going to therapy, and you know, man going to therapy, what? Yeah, I wish there was more detail into that. I feel like it's an opportunity missed, and she needs to turn it down with the Marie Curie. Yeah, she talks way too much about her. Like, I'm happy for it, I'm so for it and all of that, but it just needs to be toned down. Not every chapter needs to be mentioning her, you know. And again, I need Levi's perspective on this. But other than that, it's a great book. I gave it a 3. Getting a 4 is very hard for me. Like, I would have given it on Story Graph, I would have given it a 3.75, but there's no 3.5 and 3, you know, so I gotta give it a 3. Okay, last but not least, anyway, there's so much information I'm skipping, because again, I don't really want to go in depth because I feel like I get too passionate about it and it's not great. Okay, the last book I finished last night was Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. Now this book, you do get your perspective. You've got Misha's perspective, which Misha is a guy, I know, and Ryan is the girl, I know. Shouldn't you have just switched the names? But I feel like they did that. So these two met in grade 5 because of a pen pal program that the schools have set up. So they were pen pals from grade 5, and this is set in their last year of high school, which is 7 years. They've been talking and being best friends for 7 years, sharing secrets, telling things that they've never told anyone else before because they're pen pals. And no face, no case. That's literally what it was. We can't chat to each other on social media. We can't search up each other on social media. Nothing. So it's literally, I'm gonna go by whatever you tell me on this. And can I say to you guys how their pen pals is so cute? Physical letters. It wasn't online. It was physical letters where they had to type by hand. That was so cute. Anyway, it's been 3 months since Ryan has heard from Misha, and those 3 months you're gonna see Misha's perspective. And he's going to go through some agonizing tragedy, pain. He loses his sister on the same day he meets Ryan 3 months ago. Ryan doesn't know who he was at the time. I mean, she doesn't for majority of the book until she puts her thinking brain together. Yeah, he loses his sister. She has a heart attack. She's abusing substance because she's trying to be an A-star student and all that. She was 17, bless her. Yeah, he turns up into Ryan's school as Mason, and yeah, he's so annoyed and so irritated with her. So the first line of the blurb, it says, "We're perfect together until we met." And I was like, how does that even work? How are you perfect together before you met, and how did you know? So it makes sense to me now, because the persona that she was putting on the letters is the persona she wanted to be and who she wanted to be. But then when Misha met her in real life and witnessed her what do I call Trey, the guy that she's gonna go to prom with, because she has no feelings with him, and she just wanted to fit into society's cool clique sort of thing. When he witnessed that guy bullying the Manny, she just stood there and said nothing. The way that she got up, it was like, okay, Trey, I'm bored. Next, like, what else are we doing? Like, stop bothering him. She won't stand up for him. She'll just say dumb shit like that. And Mason's looking at her like, by the way, Mason's like dead ass staring at her, and she has no idea who he is. And she's like, why is he looking at me? Like, why is he doing this? She was doing some bullshit thing. This whole book is teenage angst. Again, you guys know I don't like angst. What would I rate it? Because a lot of things happen. It does keep you like on your toes, sort of like what's gonna happen. But it's like such teenager books. Like, I feel like I should have known. But then on the blurb, it doesn't say anywhere that the teenagers. I was just hoping that they would have met on like in college or like at uni or like after that, had to like just a little bit after. But anyway, it's got a 3.85 star rating on what's it called, Goodreads. I gave it a 3. And those are the 4 books I've read. Honestly, if I had to rank them, okay, so The House Across the Lake, then it's Love on the Brain, then it's Punk 57, then it's a Court of Thorn Roses. That's the way I'm ranking it. I don't know what I gave them ranking right now, but those are the orders that it's gonna go in. And if you want to see more of me, and please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And thanks for watching. Bye guys.